Politics in the United Kingdom. Hi everybody, this week we're going to look at politics and voting in the UK. First of all, let's look at the main parties. So in the UK for the last 100 years, there's been two main parties. First of all, the Conservatives, who are currently in power. Boris Johnson is Prime Minister. They are traditionally a centre-right party. However, as it's such a big party, you have different groups within it, some of whom are more right-wing and some of whom are more centre or moderate. So it depends who is in power, if they're more right-wing or more centre. The other big party is the Labour Party. In general, they're centre-left, but there's different groups, some of whom are more left-wing, socialist, and others who are more centre and moderate. Again, it depends who's in power, which way the party will go. The third biggest party is the Liberal Democrats. You can see in their name that they're liberal. They're very centre in most issues. Again, it can slightly change depending on the leader, but in general, a centrist party. Another important party recently were UKIP, the UK Independence Party. This was a party who focused on the United Kingdom leaving the European Union. That was their main issue. There are obviously other parties like the Greens, in Scotland, the Scottish Nationalist Party, and other parties in Wales and Northern Ireland as well. Now let's have a look at the UK Parliament. So the UK Parliament is made up from the House of Commons, who are elected MPs, the House of Lords, who are unelected peers, and the Queen, who approves laws. However, today we're just going to focus on the House of Commons. So the House of Commons is made up of 650 elected members of Parliament, or MPs. United Kingdom is divided into 650 constituencies, each which contain an average of 80,000 voters. The role of the Member of Parliament is to represent their constituency by debating, discussing and voting on specific issues. MPs are usually members of a political party, but they can also be independent. So each constituency is an area that contains about 80,000 voters, more or less. Coming up to the elections, there are different candidates, usually for the main parties that we already discussed, some smaller parties and independent candidates as well. So in each constituency, the candidate that wins the most vote will be elected and go to the Houses of Parliament. So the party that then gets the biggest number of MPs becomes the party who will be in power. So for example, we now have the Conservatives. And in terms of electing the Prime Minister, it's not like here when you vote for someone to become President. Our Prime Minister becomes the Prime Minister because they are the head of the party that then wins the most amount of MPs, or most amount of seats, which is out of 650 in the UK. Let's have a little look. So in the United Kingdom, the party wins from winning the seats from the constituency and not from who gains the most votes in general. This is called the Firstpastthepost system. Many people in politics are advocating to change this because some people don't think it's very democratic and there could be better ways. However, this is the system that we have right now. Okay, I would just now like to speak to you a little bit about the Scottish Parliament. So the Scottish Parliament is relatively new, established in 1999. So the Scottish Parliament has the right to discuss issues that affect Scotland. We have powers on devolved issues such as education, transport, health, etc. In Scotland, there are 129 members of the Scottish Parliament, or MSPs. As you can see in the photo, there's a statue of someone called Donald Dewar, who was the First Minister of Scotland. So the Scottish Parliament is completely separate from the UK Parliament. Scottish Parliament only have powers over issues that directly affect Scotland. Hence, if you saw in my last video, university is free in Scotland, but there are fees in England. That is why. Okay, so it can be very complicated. There's a lot more information, but I just wanted to tell you the basics. So hopefully you've learned some new things. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Okay, bye.